Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. This is episode 153 and today is Thursday, March the 5th. March already, that's crazy. Welcome to new viewers if you're watching for the first time. My name is Denise and I'm known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. I'm just distracted as normal because I've let Bindi out on the deck. She's wandering around out there. So yeah, if you're watching for the first time, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time to check out the podcast and sit down with us. And to returning friends, good morning. I'm having a Kit Kat. I did deliberately leave it until this morning, until now. And I have a cup of tea. Before we move on to other things, I must tell Talia what's in my mug. Talia, I'm trying this one this morning that you sent me, raspberry and vanilla. Taylor's of Harrogate tea, and it's nice. I don't know if I can tell that there's vanilla in it, but this one I had yesterday that you sent me was really, really nice. I really like that. It seemed a lot stronger than some of the other fruity teas I try. And you're right, you told me I could get it on Amazon, so I think I'm going to order a little box of that kind of tea as well. Alright, so guys, how are you? Have you had a good week? I did not record yesterday. I wasn't feeling too good. I want to say under the weather, but it's really just been with sinus issues. You know, I'm over that cold and everything, but you still kind of get the congestion for a few weeks. And yesterday morning it was making me feel a little nauseous, and I just couldn't record. I always have to lie down. If I feel nauseous, I just have to lay down for an hour or so. But I can still tell that my, you know, my nose and everything, there's so much pressure in my face. So I'm just kind of battling with that, you know. It's hard not to screw your face up because, you know, it's just like it aches all the time. So I will try not to frown too much. I've written tons of notes. This might be a long one, but... and I want to go down and, you know, in order. But before I do... Oh, it won't break. Oh, it won't break properly. I'm going to have a nibble of my Kit Kat. So whatever you've got to nibble on, nibble away. Hang on. If you notice, I've still got the English Kit Kats because I've hid them. Hid them from hubby and Kiki. They've got the plain, the normal little ones that we get here. Put them in the biscuit barrel. Ooh, sucking in my hair. The ones from England are slightly longer as well, I find. But I'll not eat it all right now. You want to see. Watch me eating the whole Kit Kat. Alright. So, get your words out, Denise. In case you hadn't noticed, if you've not been in the Ravelry group in the past couple of days, we did it. We hit 1,000 members, just shy of my 3rd year podiversary. I think it was Monday I noticed, or Tuesday, I noticed there was 1,000 members. And Kathy Ann noticed as well, and she started up a thread in the group and said, you know, congratulations and woohoo, 1,000 members, and had I seen it. And I told Kathy, yes, I had just seen it, but it has been known to kind of go down again because, you know, people are clearing out their groups and Ravelry pages all the time. I know I do it. If I haven't been on somebody's group or in their forums for quite a while, I'll sometimes have to just delete them. So sure enough, a few minutes later, it actually went down to 999 again. But it went up again. And I think the last time I checked, we were at 1,003 members. So thank you, everyone who has joined the Ravelry group. Thank you to all of you who have been there for months and months on end and years. It's been a fabulous ride. As I said, last Sunday was my 3 years of podcasting, March the 1st. So, you know, without a doubt that I've loved every minute of it. I wouldn't be sitting here still doing it if I didn't. But what I love is the fact that you out there are still sitting here with me. And I've been told a few times that you feel like, even though we've never met, you feel like, you know, I'm a friend, and what was it somebody said? I forgot the exact words, but even though we've not met, they think, you know, if you lived next door, we would be really good friends. And I honestly believe that too. If anyone is still watching now, or even if you're a new viewer and you know, are sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I could sit here and chat with this girl. If you're enjoying the podcast, I do feel like you're friends. And because you are the people that I can't wait to tell during the week if there's anything knitting related. I honestly think of you all. Oh, and I can't wait to tell them this, and I can't wait to tell them that. And so I do think of you as friends, and I really appreciate that you feel the same way and you look at me as a friend, like we're just sitting and chatting. So thank you for that. You make me feel very, very special. All right, before we move on to things, as I said, lots and lots of notes, so I'm going to try and be good and go through them and not feel rushed. I want to welcome some girlies who have left messages, the welcome thread, they've left an introduction, so I want to say a special welcome to them. We have a few this week, so I won't spend too long going through them. I just want to say quickly hello to Leslie, who is B&B Knitter, and she's got a B&B in New York, and if you don't know what a B&B is, it's a bed and breakfast, which I thought they were kind of hard to come by. Certain areas around over here, it's quite easy to find little B&Bs in England, but it sounds wonderful. Leslie, she's near the Canadian border. She's there's Bindi, hold on, she just jumped over there, if you can see her. There she is, there, little Miss Regal. Say hello to everybody. Yes, you look outside. Now watch her curl up. She's like a little cosy fox. Get comfy. There you go. So there's little Miss Thing. If you're watching for the first time, that is Bindi, my little pom. Oh, pain in the... Yes. That's all I'm going to say about that. She can be a pain. Oops, dropping my tea packets. All right, so sorry, Leslie. I've got off on a tangent there. Yeah, in the Adirondack, is that how you say that? Adirondack Mountains? Oh, sounds wonderful. I can't remember the last time I was in a B&B. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Welcome, Leslie. Thanks for leaving the message, an introduction. Sorry, guys. I want to say hi to Caitlin, who is Knitter's Home, and she's in Spokane, Washington. Is that how you say that as well? Tracy, who is MCJ Mom in Northern Kentucky. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Caitlin. Hello to Heather, who is befuddled, rather befuddled. Befuddled 515 on Ravelry, and you're in Michigan, and you are a brand new viewer, so I think she's only watched one podcast. She watched the last podcast, so I hope you liked it, and I hope you're watching this one again, and I hope you come back and watch a lot more. And then Monica, who is Monanica Knits. Isn't it terrible when you have to try and say these Ravelry names? You're in Norway. Wow. Hi, in Norway. Linda, who is Linda Dawn 64, who is in the West Midlands City. I didn't know it was West Midlands City. But in the West Midlands, in the UK. Hi, Linda. Joanne, who is Jar Green on Ravelry, and she's in Chicago and South Carolina. Goes backwards and forwards, apparently. That's a busy life, going from one house to the next. 6 months here, 6 months there, I think is what you said. Can't remember exactly. But welcome. And Jill, who is Bead Room in Nottingham in the UK. Hi, Jill. And I only just checked again and this is, I do not know how to say these words, but Helly or Helle, Helle. I don't know how to pronounce words like that when they don't have two E's on the end. I'm not sure if you pronounce the E like Helly or Helle. But anyway, that's your name, and you're in Denmark. And your Ravelry name, I don't know how to say this one either. Tanne? Tanne? T-A-N-N-E. I know I've got them totally wrong. I just don't know how to pronounce words like that. But welcome. All right, where are we? I'm going to keep hold of this tea and sip it a while before it gets too cold. Oh, and where am I today? I'm in England, Sarah. Hello to Sarah. She sent me this one from England. And I think of my sister as well every time I see this, because she lives in Lichfield in Staffordshire. And I want to say that that's... Isn't that where Shakespeare was or is? Anyway, that's what makes me think of my sister too. One of them. And my other one lives up north in Sunderland with everybody else. All right. So I want to say, we're going to start with some prizes. I do want to say a huge, huge thank you to everyone that left a lovely comment in the prize, the 3-year podiversary thread. We had over 200 comments, and I just loved reading each and every one of them. If you've asked a question in there, I've sometimes tried to PM you and send, because I didn't want to write in there and then mess up the numbers or anything, because it was really a no chatter thread. I know that, and I didn't write the name down, but someone, you just recently asked, like, how do you watch the old podcasts? Actually, it might have been you, Heather. You might have said you want to see older podcasts, and when I started out 3 years ago, I was recording and uploading to Blip, which is what many, many podcasters did. It was free service, and through Blip, they sent it to iTunes automatically for us. Now, Blip cancelled my account last year sometime, and I know they cancelled a lot of podcasters, knitting podcasts, and yet some are still on there. I think Sock Bunny is still on there, and I'm sure I've seen Steve with Dramatic Knits. His podcast still shows up. I don't know anyone else in particular, but Lynn just told me recently that she's been watching my older podcasts, and she's going onto the blog I used to upload to. I haven't done that for quite a while, but I have a blog. It's the knittingdenpodcast.blogspot.com. And sure enough, the ones from those first couple of years are still on there. I uploaded them. Every time I uploaded to Blip, I would embed it into that blog. And I scrolled all the way through the archives and went to episode 1. It's right there from episode 1. And you click on it, and it plays. And I don't know how it plays, because Blip doesn't have my account anymore. You can't search... You can't go blip.tv/knittingden like you used to be able to get to the, my account and see all of the podcasts. It says, there's no trace of it, or they can't find it. But you can play, the videos are still there on my blog, which is kind of good, as I thought they were all gone. And it was, if you wanted to see them, I really had to make the effort to get them on YouTube. And I haven't done that because I was having issues uploading. If I don't upload directly to YouTube from my editing software, the Movie Maker, it seems to post it twice, and the file is really long. So there was the issue with that, and I never uploaded the old ones to YouTube. But if you're interested, all that waffle just to see it, you can see old podcasts way back from the beginning on the knittingdenpodcast.blogspot.com. And it's kind of funny to look back and watch some of them. Kind of cringe, actually, when you're so nervous and embarrassed in the beginning because you're talking to a camera. But it doesn't stay that way for long, because now I just feel like I'm talking to friends. All right. Oh, where did I put it? I'm going to have to stop the podcast now. I deliberately had something to show you and I've not brought it with me. Hang on. It was actually right behind me. I was sitting on it. I was going to show you, before we get into prizes, because there I go off on a tangent again, I was going to show you what I'm wearing. And I put it on deliberately. I wouldn't normally wear this around the house, but this is I don't know what to do with my hair. This is a project that I do use a lot, and after showing hubby's cardigan, and again, I don't make notes of the names and I forget, but it might have been Lynn again, said that it would be a good idea to mention older projects, not just me, but other podcasters, show you them and kind of talk about the yarn again and what you've thought of it, how is it wearing and things like that. So, because of the 3-year podiversary kind of thing too, it led me to picking this up. I'll take it off in a second. Some of you might recognise it, and I'll put it back on and show you. As I said, I do wear this one a lot. As you can tell, it's a big long cowl, and it's called the April Showers Cowl by Meg Strong. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and this was my very first knit along in the Knitting Den podcast, and it was the April, the first. I started March 1st, so sometime in April I set a knit along, and of course I was thrilled when people joined in. But what I love about this, one, most importantly, it's not itchy. The yarn is Malabrigo sock, which I later came to realise is one of my favourite yarns. And normally I'll wear it because I grab it out of the closet, put my coat on and get in the car, and I normally do this if it's chilly outside. And I just love how simple, I don't check to see if it's the right way or anything. I just like the feel of it. It covers my neck, and it's, you know, I'm warm. I put on my puffy kind of jacket. And as I said, it doesn't scratch, so I love it. And it feels very special to me because it was my first knit along, and I know some of you out there, I'm sure you're still watching, you knit along with me and you'll have yours. And when I get to the store, say if I'm going out to Walmart or something, or Target, I get to the store and then I'm starting to get hot, like I do, I can either take it off, excuse me, but what I tend to do first is just unravel it and keep it around my neck, but, you know, I take it off the twice wrapped and it kind of makes me feel a bit cooler. If I am still super, super hot, then it has to come off altogether. Now, I did look on my project page a second ago to tell you perhaps the colourway. I know it's Malabrigo sock, but bad girl that I am, I've not even got a finished picture of it. These are my other glasses gone. This is the picture of the one on Ravelry, and then this is mine as I was knitting it. I didn't post a finished picture, and I've got here that the yarn is Baruffa Cash Wool, because originally I started knitting it with some lace yarn, or lace. I'm pronouncing all my vowels for you nice now. I started out trying to knit this in lace, and I was pulling from a centre ball, and it got all ravelled and knotted, and I went crazy and wasn't happy, so I pulled it all out and I picked this from, I don't even know where I got it from now. I might have been even sent it in the beginning. But I picked this out of my stash, my little stash way back then, and I started knitting this and I liked it. Now, I have just, and you can kind of see the crease here. Can you see the crease there? In the middle. There. Right here. Trying to show you. Here. Because I just blocked this again last night. And the reason I blocked it was because I didn't block it properly the very first time because I didn't have blocking wires back then. So I know I didn't stretch it out as much as I could. And it was only like it wasn't very wide at all. So I thought I would block it again now that I have wires, just to get the width on it. So it's a lot wider than it was. But as you say, as you can see, it still just wraps around. It's a great length. Nice. Now, I might leave it like that for a second. So yeah, I'm wearing that, and all I can say about the yarn, I do love knitting with it. It's really nice, and you can see this is probably the most worn item that I have, that I've knit, and there's no pilling or anything. I wear this all the time, like a few times a week to go out. And in saying that, it's going to have to come off because I've gone hot. I've gone hot, my tea's gone cold. Hold on. And the cowl is coming off. All right, you're still waiting for prizes, aren't you? Okay, let's get started with that. And if you didn't enter any of these giveaways, then feel free to just fast forward a little if you don't want to wait around, because I'm going to do this live. So the first one up is the fibre. This was just because giveaway. Fibre donated by Deb of Fondant Fibre in the UK. And the second prize is going to be the bee leaf, I never remembered to say this right, bee leaf half pie shawl by Sock Bunny. And I'm going to give away with it a skein of yarn from Sock Bunny Studios that is in my stash. Every time Sock Bunny did an update, I kind of grabbed some lace yarn because I do want to knit more lace shawls, just it's not happening yet. So you get a choice of these colours, a kind of grey. That looks a lot greyer there on your screen, like a bluey grey, but it's not. It's just a very light grey. And if you move it backwards, you can't tell because it's too far away. Then you've got a pink. This is called Branching Out, like bark, tree bark colour, and then jellyfish, which is like a nice mauve, I would call it. So you get a choice. Yeah, I'm going to give you the pattern, or Kimberly's going to donate the pattern for me, and you'll be able to pick a skein of yarn that you can do that pattern in if you so choose. So with that, we had 104 entries. I might need my glasses on. Oop, these are not the ones I normally wear, and so I couldn't get them on right. Let's go to, I don't like taking so long, but I did want to do it live just for the excitement of it, you know. I'm going to put in number 2 to 104. I always like to try and show you. And then we're going to hit generate random number, and it's a low one, 14. And I'm going to now have to hop on over to the group. And I'm now already on my page, so it's going to take a couple of seconds longer. Number 14, remember that. And we are clicking on that. I did close the thread on this one. It'll be on page 1. Who's the lucky winner for the first prize of fibre? It is Philippa Mac. No, MC. Philippa! And you're in Portugal, right? Oh, congratulations. Yes, you are. I haven't heard from you for a while, girl. Okay. You are the lucky winner of fibre. And then the winner of, let's go back. It's fun when I know them. Ooh, let's see. We're going to go, oh, I'm going to just hit random generator again, I guess. Yeah, hit it again, and we get number 75 for the yarn, the pattern and the yarn, and that is going to be, I'm going to try page 3, might be 4. Lucky winner, 75 is, I don't know how you say this, Archeo, honestly, I'm not very good at pronouncing these, Katie. In Colorado. Ah! You're in Thornton, but I think it's Thornton. It says Thornton, Colorado. Congratulations, Katie. You've won a skein of yarn and the pattern. So if you're watching this, you need to PM me and tell me what colour as well. And Philippa, obviously, contact me as soon as you see this. So that's one prize. What I think I'll do is move into some of the show and then do the next prize in a few minutes, because I need to write a few names out, and I'll explain why in a minute. All right, that was fun. So that's one down. We've got two of the prizes, the 3-year prize and the knit-along prize for you girls that joined in with that. So this week, let's chat about, I've written all this down, works in progress, finished objects, KALs, knit-alongs, book talk. I don't really have anything to talk about crochet or show. I've been practicing, but nothing to talk about. I will just say that it's a little frustrating because I keep wanting to try something, and then when I try it I stop and I'm not getting anywhere, so I pick up my knitting again. So nothing this week. I'll keep on with it, keep practicing, try and decide on what to do. And then girly chatter. So, where are we? Finished objects. I don't have one. So why am I talking about it? Well, because I have half of one. I have a hoe. And I can't believe, this wasn't even on the needles last week, guys. I can't believe I knit this so quickly. And I'm going to show you. I'll show you it first and then I'll show you the book. Ah! Ta-da! Yep, a whole sock. It feels like I should be going to the circus, doesn't it? So if you watched the last week or last couple of episodes, I was showing you this book. I got Tilly Trout all excited about this book, and now Tracy's jumping on bandwagon. I wonder if she's got her book yet. She's going to knit some socks. Let me show you what I decided to knit. These socks. And I need some spotty tights now, don't I, like them? I don't really wear tights like that. Anyway, this is Kristen Knits from Kristen Nicholas. It's just such a colourful book. I've showed you it the past couple of weeks. Some awesome socks in there. And there's lots of other things I would like to knit, which is hats and mittens and all that kind of thing. I'll go through that another time. But I did this I started this on Sunday and I finished it, I don't even want to say yesterday because I went out last night to boot club. I think it was the day before. It was, might have been Tuesday. It only literally took 2 or 3 days. And I'm just using, I mean it's nothing exciting. I'm just using some acrylic, worsted weight. Because I just thought, I don't want to waste any good yarn, but it's just going to be like bed socks. And I just thought they would be fun to knit. You started top down and you knit these bobbles. My bobbles seem to be rather large, but it's just the way they came out. And then I did this stripe, and I think a lot of people were saying in the forums or on this pattern that it turned out too tight, and I think that made Tilly Trout think she was not going to do the colours here, but I just tried to keep it, the colour work as loose as I could, and it actually fits. I'll try it on in a second. As I said, worsted weight yarn, and it's literally just Hobby Lobby's I love this yarn and stuff like that. So I'm going to put this on and then maybe point the camera down there. It looks huge, but it actually does fit. And I did the stretchy cast on, what was it called? The German long tail, is it the German one? That Sam from Knit Run Dig just showed us at the Florida retreat. So that you have a stretchy top on your socks. It works wonders. So anyway, I'm going to cover up my lily white leg. And here it is. See? And it fits really, and it's fun, isn't it? Oh, 3D. I need to knit more socks. What that part is. What's that part? Oh, it's just the heel. I just followed the pattern and did the gusset heel. 3 days it takes to knit this one sock, if that. And this is not too tight, as I said. I mean, I've got some stretch on it. It's nice. And this here is a piece of like brown, different coloured yarn, but it was already in and I didn't want to pull it out. So it kind of looks like a dirty mark there. Anyway, I'll get the other one knit soon. And I think I started saying, and I didn't quite finish the sentence, I've started this for the knit along with the Bakery Bears podcast and a new podcast with Nick, I have to say this, Knits. So it's Nick, he's called Nick I think, it's just a young guy. He's teaming up with the Bakery Bears for the Spring into Sock KAL, is that what it is? Anyway, it started March 1st, so I cast these on Sunday, and I do have plans to put my other sock on, you know, get the other one on the needles. I'm actually wearing, look, I've had them on for a couple of days, so I don't want to spend too long on. But these ones are my Desert Vista Dye Works colourway socks, and they are the Vanilla Latte pattern. So I've got them on today. Okay, just get yourself right, Denise. I'll get comfy again. Where are we? All right, so that's a haul, which I was really pleased about. And that will bring us into, where am I? I want to do this in order. Where have I put the? I didn't write them all down. Anyway, works in progress. Where to start? I'm not with the Lawrence just yet. What was I going to show you? Here it is. I did set goals last week. So this is the yarn for those socks. It's just, as I said, Hobby Lobby's acrylic. I've set goals last week, if you remember. And one of them was to turn the heel. Oh yeah. To turn the heel on my pumpkin socks. I have one sock on the needle. I've got 3 socks total. This one I'm knitting one at a time. This is pumpkin patch 2-stripe from Dancing Dog Dye Works. And I said that in order to get socks off the needles, I need to give them a little bit of love every week. And I wanted to turn the heel, and I did. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard when you want to squash it to show you. Isn't it? Kind of hard to hold up because I'm not that far past the heel yet. It's very difficult to see, I must admit. It's just kind of hard to see the heel, probably because of the variegated yarn, the part that I'm on. I'm not sure. Anyway, remember I said I wanted to possibly try a different heel, and but I wasn't sure which one, and I did mention that the Megan from the Stockinette Zombies has an OMG heel sock pattern. Well, I didn't get started on the heel, thankfully, before I saw a pattern that was gifted to me. It was in my inbox. I won't show you the pattern. But I was sent this as a gift this week. Said it was really great, and thank you to my sweet friend who sent this. I didn't ask about sharing names, so I don't like to if I haven't asked. So yeah, this came, and immediately I said, right, I've got to do it. I've got to turn the heel. So that's what I'm doing. It's supposed to be like a mock gusset heel. This is toe up, and you can do it from the top down. As I said, I'm just kind of having a hard time even seeing where it is, you know. Looks kind of strange. But, let me see if I can, I'll put this one on again. So now that it's turned, I've just got to keep on knitting. So this is nice, easy knitting. And I mean, I feel like it fits okay, but as I said, a little difficult to see exactly where it is. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be nice. Feels good. I'll carry on with that. It's, as I said, nice, easy, getting all tangled up now. Nice, easy TV knitting. And that's in my little poo bag that I made, peekaboo bag. So that's in there. That's that one. I'm trying to think, because I put whips, I didn't actually say what they were. So I did set a couple of little goals last week, and that was one, turn the heel on that sock, which I did, good, check that off. I did say to do a little bit of knitting on the hanging leaves shawl. Didn't do that. And I did not pick up the Avalon stole shawl. I did work on the iWee, as I call it, in my kind of matching bag. This is Fat Squirrel bag. I did bring the pattern as well. So let's start from the beginning. If you haven't seen this before, look at that. It's getting all it's stapled together. I am knitting this, or have been knitting this, cast on last February 2014. I didn't realise it was a whole year, so that's why I made the decision to try and give it some love. It's in this book by Barocco. It was there for their new yarn, Folio. And I've got all of this in here right now. I've showed it a few times. The front and the back are in two panels. There's a plain panel and a, oops, now I'm all stuck, and the lacy panel. So they get sewn together to make the front, and then there'll be a plain pattern and a lacy pattern for the back. And this is the lacy pattern. And you can see my little doohickey, that's what I worked on. Not a lot, but I'm just going to have to try to do a little bit like that every week. Or maybe I might concentrate on this this week. You don't need to go out, Bindi. You're like a yo-yo. I'm not getting up again, so no. So that I did give that some love, and I'm going to have to try and give it a lot more love, because it's that time of year where I can wear this. I do not have the ball band for the folio, so I can't tell you the yarn content right now. And I had started a nice little pink lacy top. Remember I showed you that either last week or the week before. I haven't touched that because this is what I would probably be wearing, so I need to get this off the needles before that pink top, because it's going to be a few months before I can just wear a sleeveless like top tank. So I haven't done any work on the pink one. So that's one of my works in progress. I think that was all I was working on, because I also, and this will move us into some knit-alongs, but the knit-along for the Lawrence sweater, and I'll do the price drawing in a second. I got my off the needles, but I'm needing the sleeves done. And here it is. Ooh, so it's large, it feels heavy, and to be honest, and it's not blocked yet, I think, I tried it on and the bottom is a tad bit wide. I maybe didn't need to increase as much. Sit myself up a bit. So, I don't know. We'll have to see where it blocks out. It doesn't matter. I'd rather it be like that than be too tight around the hips or anything. So I'm going to end up... It's hard to kind of show it, isn't it? I would have had this finished, but I've got no more yarn left. I'm going to have to go down to the yarn store and see if she has some. And she might have got more in. This is Barocco Vintage in the Forget-Me-Not colourway, I think it is. And I'm not sure, Helen, if yours looks exactly like mine, the colourway. I'm not sure, I haven't heard what you used. I don't know if it's Barocco, but it looks the same kind of blue. And you kind of ran out of yarn on sleeves as well, didn't you? I even had to break into the swatch I did to cast off. But it looks rather large on the bottom. And the reason I didn't buy more skeins of yarn, I would have got an extra one, but she didn't have any. And I can't remember if I got 5 or 6. And I need 7, or I need 6 and I only got 5. I'm not sure. If she's got more in, it possibly will not be the same dye lot, but it's just the sleeve, so I'm hoping that even if it is a slightly different colour, it's not going to make a huge difference. You know, it's not going to be like in the middle of the body or anything. But it does need blocking a little to just bring out the pattern here. And the pattern is on the back and the front. And I don't know if I've still got the pattern printed out. I have, but I don't know if it never has the... I've just kind of printed it out black and white. And so I never know who's actually designed it. But I'm going to find out this time. Let me get my glasses back on. Where am I going? It is... Let's see. Oh, come on. Go on slow. Now, why can't I find it? Oh, not now. Oh, dear me. I sometimes edit these parts out, but I may just be leaving them in. Here it is. So you're going to have to be patient with me. It is by Melissa Labar. I know Tracy did hers in a DK weight yarn. I don't know, she got gauge. Mine feels super, well, not super heavy, but it does feel kind of heavy and thick. But I hope it's going to be okay to wear. It's not going to be scratchy because it's got acrylic in it. All right, so this was the knit along that we did, or tried to do, with Sarah and Matt from the Apple Blossom and You podcast. And Sarah didn't get a chance. I know she cast on, but the gauge, she got gauge, and then when she cast on, it was like, I think it was turning out too big, and she pulled it out, and sadly she did not get a chance to get it back on the needles. You know, and that happens sometimes, life happens, and she's a busy girl. So she'll knit it at some point. But I'm not sure if you've knit this and you've put it in there. I can't remember what she was doing for prizes and stuff like that. But just because she didn't finish it doesn't mean that she wasn't doing the knit along. The thread is still open and everything. So with that, I only have 4 finished objects because I didn't get mine done, but I'm not eligible for a prize anyway. 4 of you finished your sweater and you put it in the thread. And I have 2 prizes here. One is donated from Christine of Rainstorm Studios, and yarn, gorgeous yarn from Jen of Daisy Knits. But because there's only 4 of you and I don't really like to leave 2 out, I'm going to do, I haven't done them yet, I'll do a couple of little teeny prizes I might make as a Zeta pill for the 2 runners-up kind of thing. So with that, I'm going to draw all of your names. It's just a matter of who gets the bag and the yarn, and then the 2 remaining names, I'll send you out something in the mail, just to say thank you for joining in. And I'm going to need to stop the video now because I wanted to just write your names out and pop them in a little dish, because obviously we've been chatting and in that thread. I thought it would be easier to do that. So bear with me, I'll be right back. While I was up, I heated up my tea. That is quite nice. I do like to leave the tea bag in so it gets stronger, because I just find some of these fruity teas a little weak for my liking. So now that I've heated that up a bit, it's even better. Okay, 4 names, girls, and all it is a matter of who gets the bag yarn and then who gets the little bill or something in the mail, nice in the mail. So we have Kay, Sue, Tracy, and Helen. Helen. I was letting Kristen listen to your podcast yesterday, and you should have seen her face. She couldn't really understand what you were saying, girl, and I thought it was hilarious. She was like, "What?" I had to keep kind of telling her what you'd said about it. It was hilarious. And I said to her, "That's a Scottish accent." It's, because I keep telling her mine's kind of like Scottish, but it's not, because I'm just near Scotland and all that. But I love your accent, and could listen to you talk all day, girl. All right, I'm popping all of these in here. I wish I could have videotaped a reaction to listening, because you were saying something and she actually did not grasp one word, and she just looked absolutely startled at the fact that you speak in English but you couldn't understand you. But there you go. All right, girlies, who gets first up, the bag? All right. I've only got 4 names, and I don't know, I'm not going to look, and they're all the same. Who's going to get it? Where am I going to mail it to? I've only got one. Got one. And it is Helen. Congratulations, girl. You get a bag. I don't think I've got your address. Okay, up next for the yarn, which will leave the remaining 2 to get a little something from me. Just picked it out there. And that is Sue. You get the yarn, girly. Well done, and thanks for joining in. And that leaves, oops, that's me. Just dropped there. Go on, ask me if I can remember these names. Kay and Tracy. You girlies, still contact me. Let me know what your address is. I'm going to try and get something out in the mail to you too as well. Just a little something. I don't want to say I'm going to send bags, because I'm just behind. I need to do some bags for those that I've promised bags to, for giveaways and charity stuff. So I don't want to put pressure on myself and then say I'm going to send you a bag. I'll try to do something else, some other goodies. But thank you for joining in, and hopefully this is one of the goals I'm going to set, so I probably need to write it down now. I'm going to have that finished for next week. I'll work on the sleeves, if I can get the yarn. So let me set, I want to write this down, goals. It's kind of nice writing goals down, then I know really what to work on. Finish the Lawrence. Work on that IWE. I can't say how much, but I might say designate the whole day to it, or even 2 days. But I just want to work on it as much as I can to make some progress on it. And I will cast on, I'm not going to say I'll have it done. I might have it done because it needs something really quick. Cast on the second sock for the knit along. The circus sock, I'm calling it. That's 3 goals right now. All right, what does that take us into? Ooh, where's the book? Backwards and forwards. Where's the book? I've just written my goals in it. Goodness me. Okay. Oh, and I've already said what I've written some goals down here, but I'll get to that in a minute. So let's jump a little, well, not jump backwards. We're still talking about knit-alongs, because that was ours. The next knit-along that I'll be doing, I was Let's see, I did hit the record button, didn't I? I'm not quite sure what the lighting's like today. I hope it's not too dark. The next knit along that I'll be doing in the group is, it'll be in July, and it's going to be the yearly Christmas in July knit along. And that is when we start to think about casting on some either Christmas presents, Christmas gifts, or you can knit something Christmassy if you're not going to knit gifts, because I didn't really knit Christmas gifts this year. You can knit something. I'll go into further details about, you know, how many entries perhaps, or when I say you can knit something Christmassy, I don't want people to just post a tiny little bauble for the tree and do like 10 of them and post 10 entries. I think last year I did a maximum of 2 or 3 entries. So I'll go into further detail nearer July, and I will try to, I know I've done this in the past, I will try to have a couple of Christmas bags from the Kickaboo shop as prize giveaways there. So that's the only one I'm going to do, and until I will then be doing the regular Pinktober probably in October with Kathy. Hopefully we'll do that one again. But I just want to mention some, where did I write them down? Some other knit-alongs going on. Now, I just mentioned that the Bakery Bears podcast and Knits are doing the sock along. It is the Spring into Socks cowl. It's going for 2 months, and it's from 1st of March, and it'll be till the end of April, April 31st. So I will hopefully join in with that, because I've got 1 sock off the needles already. Tilly from Tilly Trout is still having her cosy along. That's the tea cozies, but it finishes March 12th. So you've got a few more days left if you are working on one, or if you want to cast one on and you're a fast knitter. I never did get one on the needles, and I probably will not either. But that was a fun one. I've liked looking at all the tea courses everybody's been adding to that thread. And Tracy from Tea Plays Nice, she is going to start her first knit along, and I'm going to hopefully try and support that, because I just remember when I was doing my first knit along, and it's exciting when people decide to knit along with you. So she is having a summer lovin' cowl starting April 1st, and I think she's running it for 3 months to get us all started to think about knitting something summery, something to do with summer. I haven't seen all of her rules or, you know, the criteria for it. I did mention that this is what I'm going to think about doing. I'm considering getting a lacy shawl on the needles for her knit along. I keep wanting to do lace shawls, and I keep putting off. I've not got anything on the needles, and I've not got Kristen's Legacy on the needles. But did you see that flash of colour there? I am thinking about doing the lace shawl, whichever one I pick, with this bright sunshiny yellow. And it's actually brighter than where it's shown up there because of the lighting changing with the sun going in and out here. It is more, it's more golden than what you're seeing. It's very, very bright. So, this is, I think I got this as a door prize last year at the retreat, Sock Bunny retreat. It's from Leading Men Fibre Arts. And the colourway is called Angel Hair. And it's their showcase base, which is a lit. Actually, that's, I don't even think that, is that lace? I'll have to check with Steve and see what it says. It might be fingering, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think that's lace, it's fingering. So I'll still find a pattern. There's 480 yards, or 90. Not that I need to be that precise, but now I want to know. 90. So nearly 500 yards, I will pick a shawl pattern. And I had thought about looking at the Boo Knits patterns. She's got some I think that's what she's called. I've not done any. I know Tilly's done a few, I think. Absolutely gorgeous lace shawl patterns that I would like to think about, you know, putting one on the needles. So that's one of my intentions. And not a knit along, but while I'm talking about it, Tracy's also going to start a virtual book club. She's always wanted to be in a book club. I know I talk a lot about, when I get to book talk, I talk about my book club in the neighbourhood, which, by the way, I was just there last night. I had not read the book, didn't really have time, but I went because I missed the February one, and I like to socialise. So Tracy's got a poll on her group right now, Tea Plays Nice, to vote on which books. And she's taken the books from the not knitting fiction like I did a few months ago. I was asking if anybody wanted to read along with me a knitting fiction book. Tracy's picked the titles from the top 10, the bestsellers list. Is it New York Times or just the top 10 fiction novels out there right now? She's made a list of them. I have voted for mine. If you want to read along, starting, I think she's starting April 1st as well. She'll go a few weeks to vote. And it's going to be something like 6 weeks to read the book. So it's not going to be a rushed thing. You can read it over 6 weeks, and then after that, Tracy would open up a thread for discussion, and we can all go in there with, write comments on what we thought of the book, what we enjoyed or didn't, and that's going to be for like 2 weeks, and then she'll start up. So it's over the course of a 2-month period that you're only focusing on one book, which I think is great, and hopefully I'm going to join in with that, because on the list there is a book called The Girl on the Train, and it's by Paula Hawkins. And my friend, Nitty friend in the neighbourhood, had just finished reading it and told me it's not one of the ones that we'll be reading in book club this year. She just read it on her own and told me it's really good and I should read it. And I was about to, go either get it out of the library or even order it, because it sounds really interesting. So that's on the list, and I've voted for it. So if you do want to join in, consider that one. Actually, I think that might be winning the poll right now. Anyway, that's not a knit along, but it's in Tracy's group, and I just love watching Tracy's podcast. And she's a newbie, kind of. She's nearly got to 10 episodes. Was it 8 I just watched last week? Or this week, Tracy. Anyway, moving on. The last one, there's a million... bit over. There's tons of knit-alongs out there, but these are just the ones that I know of that I'm like wanting to join in with. And the final one is still going on, and I keep forgetting to put my works in progress on there. The Pen Hook Needles podcast, Talia and Marlisha, are holding a sweater along, and that's been going on from, I think it was the beginning of the year, January 1st, and it's running till the end of March. So a good few weeks to go with that. And they're doing that in conjunction with Kathy. I'm sounding very nasally now, sorry. From the Knit Nerd podcast. They're joining and doing a knit along. But Talia and Marlisha's rules or criteria are a little bit different, I think, than Kathy's. They are allowing works in progress to be entered for a chance to win prizes. And obviously any sweater that you get finished, you can enter a picture of that. And it could be that you enter twice. You could show a progress report and post a picture. So like I can put next week, I keep forgetting, but next week or this week, I can post a picture of this. This is my progress. And if it's in the same week and I get it finished, I can put the finished picture in, and that's 2 chances that week of prizes. That's my understanding, because sometimes if I think about it too much, it gets a bit complex. But I think I've got it down. You can post WIPs, a progress picture, and you can post finished objects. You might have multiple sweaters going. For instance, I can, again, if I get around to it, I could probably take a picture of my Iwi, because that's a sweater, and I'm making progress on it, and I can post that one in there. And one of the main rules, which is good, is they don't care when you cast on, thankfully, because my Iwi was cast on last year. So it doesn't matter when you cast this sweater on, as long as you're working on it now between January and March, post progress pictures, and anything you get finished, post your finished projects, all in the same thread. And it's a huge, huge motivation to get working on sweaters. As I said, that's motivation for me to keep picking up that iWee. Even if I don't get it finished, I can add pictures of the progress I make. So that's one great big sweater along, and I think that might be their second one. They're doing this on a yearly basis too. All right, I am getting a bit dry, hoarse, because I'm super chatty today, like I'm not normally. Okay, no, let's see, no, turn the page, where are we on to? Done the Lawrence, I've set down some goals. The other goal, and it doesn't matter if I do this or not, but I want to get something new on the needles, and I gotta find it now. There was a new pattern released. I'm not sure if it was a couple of weeks ago. Ooh, this doesn't fall open. Let me see if I can find it. Susan Claudino, the wonderful toy designer, released a new pattern recently, and I don't know if it was just this past week or the week before, and it's called Bon Bon, and he's a little bunny. I've just got two here in the picture. Isn't he adorable? This is Bon Bon, and I know this is another knit-along related too. Michelle from Dancing Dog Dye Works and Susan from Desert Vista Dye Works are doing a joint knit-along with Susan Claudino and her pattern for Bon Bon. So if you knit him in a Dancing Dog Dye Works yarn or Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, then you can join in with their knit-along and be entered for prizes. I'm going to get him on the needles, or her, don't know what she'll be just yet. I'm going to get her or him on the needles this week, if I can. And I was thinking about doing some hand spun that I've got. I might knit more than one. I was thinking I could cast on with some hand spun that's kind of pink and purpley. But Michelle has said to us that in her group, that the yarn that's coming out this month, and it's in the mail because I've got a tracking number, for the Monster Mania Club, we might want to use that apparently. So it might be very Eastery colours perhaps. I don't know. So I'm going to wait until that comes. I might cast on with that. Otherwise, if I cast on with my hand spun, I can't enter their giveaway, can I? So probably cast on with Michelle's yarn first, and then if I want to do another, I might use this hand spun that I've got in the pretty pinky purple colour. So that's down in my list as a goal. It's not an important goal. It doesn't have to happen, but it would be fun if it did. All right, let us move on. Lettuce? Salad, anyone? To book talk. All right. Last night was book talk with the book talk. Last night was book club in the neighbourhood. And as I mentioned, I did not read the book because I was away in February, and I started reading the book for that month, which was, and I have it here still, The Language of Flowers by Vanessa Diffenbaugh. I'll bring it up. And I did not read on this last week, didn't get anything read. But because I was still trying to read this, I didn't read the March one. And it was called the Midwife. And I don't know if I've written down who it was by. But it was like a memoir, and I actually did start watching. There was a drama series on TV, and you might know of it then. It's called Call the Midwife. It's the same, based on this girl's memoirs, or this lady's memoirs. But I've only seen a few episodes in the beginning. We didn't kind of get into it and watch it. So I haven't really watched the series, and I've not read the book. But I went along to the book club. It was really nice. The girls that were hosting, there was two of them, joined, because it's a big group now. They did high tea, and they did the tea, like an English tea, and we had the little sandwiches and the little pastries, and we had fresh fruit and, scones and things like that. So it was, and we had champagne when we first went in there. So it was really, really nice and fun. Unfortunately, I didn't stay till the end. In fact, I left before they even sat down to discuss the book. I left at about 8:30. One, because I was still having issues with, I'm getting itchy nose now. I'm having issues with my sinuses, and I was starting to get a headache again. And two, I still have to get up at 4:30, so I did not want to be getting back at 10 o'clock at night. So it was still a nice night. I just, I didn't read the book for that month. Now, I do want to read the April book choice, and that is called The Aviator's Wife by Melanie Benjamin. And I went onto the library website this morning to see whether the book or the audio book is there, if it's available. And they both were available. So I downloaded the audio first because, sometimes I'm not going to have a time to read because I'm still reading another book. Chat about that in a second. So I downloaded the Audible, and I thought, because the book is there as well, just in case, because I do like to read the books if I can find the time. I can read the book or read along or listen and, alternate between the two of them. So I went to download the book as well, that I could get on my Kindle or stuff from the library. And it won't let me. It keeps saying, go to your bookshelf. And I think it's because I've already got the title in my bookshelf, even though it's the audio version. So if I'd have done the book first, it's good job I didn't. If I had download the book first, it probably wouldn't have let me download the audio, and then I would have had to read the book. I would have had to read it on my Kindle or iBooks on my iPad, whichever, which is what I don't like to do that often. So I'm glad I've got the audio, and I'm going to start trying to listen to that a little bit every day. And I think that's based... Is it based on a true story of Charles Lyndon? I never know if to say Lindenberg or Lindenbaugh. I'll tell you a bit more about it because I haven't read it later. Which brings me to my final read that I had mentioned that I got sent, and this is such a fun book. I'm loving it, and you can tell I've been reading that this week. I've got this much left. I'll probably finish that this week as well. The Great Christmas Knit-Off by Alexandra Brown. I heard about it from Kay, from the Bakery Bears. She was reading it at Christmas time, I think. But it doesn't bother me that it's like Christmas related. It still feels like it's that season because of the snow we're getting. This is set in England, in London. Well, the girl's in London, and she goes to like a sleepy little village called Tyndalldale, I think I want to say. And it's just really fun. Based on a little shop in this sleepy village, the yarn shop, which is actually a haberdashery store, Hetty's House of Haberdashery, owned by a little old lady. And this girl that comes down from London is kind of helping her get it back, get her sales up and that, because it was kind of suffering. She wasn't getting any clientele, and she was about to become bankrupt and all that kind of stuff. So it's super, super fun. I love picking it up. It's such a nice, easy, relaxing read. So I'm enjoying that. And I think somebody else, one of you contacted me and said, what's the name? And I told you, you've been out, you got the book and you finished it already. My goodness. Talk about a fast read. But anyway, I'm enjoying that. Yes, Bindi. Oh, getting hot. Can you tell I'm getting hot? And I don't have any... Oh dear. Okay. It's time for Girly Chatter. Now, I'm sure you have been noticing when I hold things up, my nails. Ooh, don't they look fabulous? I'm not going to get too close because they're not that great. But, French manicure. I talked about nails last week, and I did get a couple of messages saying, well, what colour was it I had on? And I didn't think to go into it in that much detail. So I'll talk a little bit more about it this week, but not too much. As I said, it's probably going to bore the pants off the guys. So last week, I had put on this colour, and it was, it's a Sally Hansen brand, and it was one of the Insta Dry. I need glasses on. What has it got? A colourway on it. And so it's like really thick and it dries really fast, so you have to be like quick when you're putting it on. And the colourway is Espresso. 170, Espresso. Not espresso, Dan, right? Right? Espresso? Right. So, kind of looks like a rose pinky colour to me. I mean, that's quite the colour you see, and doesn't look like espresso to me. Anyway, I had that on, and so somebody had asked, and that's the colourway. I also had on recently, I'd bought this when I was buying a few of these new things to use, was this one, quite orangey, by OPI. Hard to tell when there's the glare on the glass. This is called Hot and Spicy. So I had tried this on. It's one of my newest ones. I'm not normally a huge nail girl. I mean, you've probably noticed before. But because my hands are so dry, I've wanted to, you know, I'm trying to keep them moisturised. Not doing a great job of that either. But I'm trying to do that, and I'm trying to soften the cuticles, and because there's so much dry, you see the dry all on my cuticles, it's just so dry, and they keep catching on my yarn. You know, the skin is just dry and cracked. So I bought a couple of things. I've only used this once, cuticle remover, and I'm not sure what it actually did. I don't want to cut the cuticles because it kind of seems like ooh, it would hurt. But I've got that. You just put it around, leave it for a few seconds, then kind of scrape with one of the sticks. I also bought the this vitamin E nail. It's a Sally Hansen as well. Nail and cuticle oil. It's a vitamin E. I'm just used to saying vitamins now. But if I'm back home, it's vitamin E. And that goes on your cuticles, you rub it in, it's just nice oil. I'm trying to do that every night and then moisturise my hands as well. Excuse me. 5 minutes later, Boo forgets to shut up barking once he starts. So the last couple of things I was showing you, I'm starting to do a base coat, a colour, or in this instance not a colour, but the French tip, and then a top coat. But I ordered this top coat. I'd heard of it, I've never heard of it before, but this is a fast drying one, and it was great because if it's not fast drying, I tend to end up with like marks in the nail polish because it's, you know, still soft. This is called Seche Vite Dry Fast Top Coat. Can't really see it, but that worked really good. Now, and the reason I got my nails like this, I've tried, and they don't look great. I mean, they look okay from far away, but they're not perfect. But I've tried those French manicure sets where, you know, you get the little tape and you put it on the edges and you paint it white. I've tried it with Kristen before as well because she's got really nice long nails. And it never works. It always seems to bleed through the paper. So I got this. And it's a pen. French manicure pen. And it's a lot easier to just draw a white line across the tip. I mean, as I said, still not perfect, but at least you've got the choice to, you know, just draw it a little bit straighter. So that's all I drew that. I did a base coat, then I drew on the tips. And that is the length of my nails right now. And I do want them to get a little bit longer, but not too long. So, I don't know which way to hold them up. So this was a nice investment. I can't remember how much it was. So that's how my nails have gone like this. And they've been like this a couple of days, you know, so even though I'm doing a lot of housework and washing and everything, they don't look too messy, really, do they? And the last thing that I mentioned last week, I need another one. I don't know why I didn't order two. But when you want to give yourself a manicure, you know, it's like a little dish, and you put the soapy water in, and then your hand naturally rests on there, and it's sitting in the water. But because I only ordered one, I had to do one hand, and then I had to put the other one in. It was only $5. I guess I should have had two, and then I would have had my hands, you know, softened at both at the same time. But anyway, that's my girly chatter on the nails. Oops, making a noise. I'm just piling nails back in there. And lastly, here's a little chat about it's English-American-y differences again, which I know you kind of like. But this week, once I got some tea off Talia, you know, a couple of little samples there. I posted a picture on Instagram of my little breakfast, and I used a little teapot that I have that was sent to me a little while ago. Let me see if I can bring up the picture, because some of you are not on Instagram, obviously. But I was having, as part of my breakfast, I made a yummy little breakfast here. Hold on. Here you go. That's my breakfast. Look, I've got a tiny little teacup. I don't have a saucer or anything that matches it, but I think I've got that in a Goodwill shop at one point. So and this teapot was sent to me. It was a little gift a while back. So I put the tea bag in here this time and got a couple of cups of tea out. And then I was having this. Now over here, you'll probably notice that that's what we call an English muffin. What happened to the sunlight? Oh my gosh. I think the sun came up. What happened to the light? How weird. Hold on. I had to turn that off because it went really, really light, and I think it was just because I'd been holding the iPad up to the camera. So, it looks like, well, what I was eating was, as we call over here, an English muffin. And Kay, from the Bakery Bears podcast, had said on Instagram, oh, she was feeling like a tea cake, wanted a tea cake now. And I'm not sure if she said that because she thought I was having a tea cake, or if it just reminded her because it looks like it's got the raisins in and everything. But that got me thinking, because I can't get tea cakes over here. And I do like a tea cake, and given the choice, I would have a tea cake over an English muffin. But I got these the other day, and I've got the packet with me, look. Because I've not really noticed tea cakes with the raisins and cinnamon in, like the raisin cinnamon bread that we get. Normally, the muffin is it's plain. You can put your poached egg on top. They use it in Eggs Benedict, that kind of thing. But this is the first time I've seen one with the raisins and the cinnamon taste. But so I had to get it, and they are nice, but they're not tea cakes. But it got me thinking, and like to try and explain to people in England, I'm going to show, what exactly they are. And I think you've got them in England, but this was my question. If it's an English muffin over here, what is it called in England? Just a muffin? I think it's just a muffin, because I googled the pictures. But here it is, and you would split it in half and then toast it. So it is bread, it's made with yeast, but it's quite dense. Unlike a tea cake, which is a bread, kind of like a sweet bread roll or bun, with currants in it, it's quite airy, light and airy when you cut it in half and toast it. It's very light. But it's still tasty. But I did think it funny. And so I googled, and it said, we call them English muffin, and in England, they just call them a muffin. So then I thought, okay, well, if you call that a muffin, what do you call muffins in England? And yes, I say muffin, not muffin. So what do you call what do you call a muffin? You know, the ones that we have that look like cakes, like chocolate chip muffins and blueberry muffins. Because when I lived there, I don't think I'd ever had a muffin, never ever seen a muffin, didn't have them growing up or anything. So these, Kate and Dan and anybody else over there, Zena, Sam, James, Tilly, what do you call these? These are muffins. Which is why I guess they have to distinguish between this one and call it an English muffin. And I very rarely have muffins, these muffins either. You can buy packet mixes here where you just add milk, stir it around, it's like a cake batter mix, and put them in the little tea cupcake holders, because they come out like a cupcake kind of thing. I buy those, and then Kristen can just mix them up and put them in the oven herself. So they're simple. I've never made these from scratch. I just get packet mixes. But it's delicious. So I had one of them with my delicious tea the other day. But that does make me think about this. You know, the names we still have so many different names for sometimes the same thing. Because over here, we can't get the kind of bacon, that I get in England. I can't get the same bacon here. As you know, bacon over here is quite fatty and streaky looking, and it goes really crispy when you fry it in the pan. And then they have over here, though, what they call Canadian bacon. So what do they call that if they're in Canada? I mean, what do they call it? And in England, I'm not sure, they kind of say this is the bacon in England as well, but it's not exactly the same, because our bacon in England's got a big round piece and then a long piece. So I'm going to see if I can show different pictures. So this is the bacon in America. This is really, it's the only kind I can get other than Canadian bacon. And it can come smoked, apple smoked, it can come plain or plain. But if I type in just to show you the difference of pictures, here's what they call Canadian bacon. And to anybody in England, that would look like a very skinny gammon steak, wouldn't it? Ham slice. I mean, that one there, the middle, that one here looks like a slice of ham. But that's what they call Canadian bacon. It's less fat and it's just usually in rounds. And I think the English one is the same kind of bacon that the Canadians use. It's the back bacon, because the Americans use the belly of the pig, I think, and then the English or Canadians use the back part of the pig. Is it's different bacon and it's less fatty. Although, so that's the typical. See how it's fatter at the top and then it still goes down to a little streaky part. Back in England, we used to actually cut the fat off the edge there, or the rind. It used to have the pig skin, and my dad would cut that off before he fried it or grilled it. He would actually grill it under the toaster sometimes. But I can't get that over here. And I know I'm not eating meat right now anyway, I'm trying not to, but here's, oh gosh, this looks so delicious. And this is funny for people in America. I have had people say that it's strange to see beans on your breakfast. But this is one of the typical full English breakfasts. And that, what you're seeing, the bread, that is not toast. That will be fried bread. Because if we have toast with breakfast, we can have it plain like that, but we would not put our jam or jelly on the toast and eat it along with the eggs and the bacon at the same time. You just don't do that. I do now, I'm used to it. But we would have bread, and you could have just plain buttered bread, but to go along with all of the savoury, the eggs, the bacon, sausage, mushrooms and tomatoes are kind of missing from that, if you wanted a full plate. We had fried bread, and my dad used to make it as well, and it's kind of like having a grilled cheese, but we don't, we don't call that grilled when you put it in a frying pan. And it wasn't buttered. Normally it's kind of fat. I think my dad used to use the like a lard, or not lard, but the fat from stuff. So we would have what we called fried bread. I haven't had that in ages either. Anyway, enough waffle. But that's just a couple of things that I've been thinking about. There's the funny Englishy American stuff. English muffins, not quite like tea cakes. I do miss tea cakes, and I'm not even going to try to explain what these are, but I do miss a crumpet now and then. Oh yes. And I've seen recipes, they try to make I've never tried to make a crumpet. There's just too many nooks and crannies in it, and I don't know how you would make it. I don't even know how to explain what it is, because it's not quite bread, and I have no idea. I'd have to Google. In England, you know what I'm talking about, though. Crumpets. Tea and crumpet. Anyway, I think I've gone through everything. I think that's it for this week. No, it's not. I didn't do the big prize, did I? Oh my gosh, I nearly forgot. Oh, seriously, I wasn't just kidding there either. I totally forgot. We've got one more. And the battery's just about to die. So I'm going to hopefully do this quickly, and I don't have to charge up the battery and wait. I'm going to do the giveaway for the Kikiboo kit. Oh, I'm going to have to do it quick now. And I wrote down how many we had, so I didn't have to go. We had a whopping 209, I think. I'm trying to get this done before they bark again, or the battery dies. Okay. Number 2. There was 209 entries. Oh my gosh, I'm putting 0209. I don't know if that works. 209. Okay. 2 to 209. Let's hit the generate button. Ooh, 153. So who is that? Let's jump across to number 153. Boo, no barking, please. That's because that dog's in the back. Okay. Please don't cut off, don't cut off. The anniversary 153. Is that what I just said? Oh goodness, I nearly forgot. Number 153. It is Inga Bean. She's been watching since the beginning. Aww. And she's in Spokane in Washington too. Kirsten. Congratulations. You win the Kikiboo kit, and what a deserving winner to be watching from the very beginning. You're still with me. So get in touch. I think I showed the prizes last week. I'll wrap them all up again. The bag, the wonderful yarn from Dancing Dog Dye Works that matches, and all of the goodies, stitch markers, bookmarks and cards and everything. So get in touch, Kirsten. Congratulations. And with that, I need to wrap it up because I think the battery's about to die. So, little Bindi, she's sleeping again on top there now. I hope you all have a fabulous week. It's been fun sitting down here. It might be a long one, but who cares? Yeah, sorry it didn't get done yesterday. I'm not going to get to... Thursday's not going to be my usual day. I would prefer to do Tuesday or Wednesday, more at the beginning of the week. So hopefully I'll see you one of those days next week. So have a fabulous week. Hope it's good, well, stay healthy, all that kind of thing. And I hope you come back next week and join me in the knitting den. Bye, guys.